Who I believe to be the true birthers of choosing beggars, it's entitled parents. Our first one is from Real Sailor Jim. My wife and I received a wedding invitation from an old shipmate earlier this year. I'd served with him in the Coast Guard and had stayed in touch over the decades, so let's just call him Chief and his fiancée, Chiefette. I called Chief the next day and formally accepted for the two of us and sent the RSVP back, just to be uber formal. Then my wife and I marked our calendar, set aside funds for travel, and went back to normal living. 2 weeks later, Chief called with an odd request. He wanted my wife to wear her wedding gown to his wedding. Long story short, they'd found out that Chiefette's mother intended to wear her wedding gown to her daughter's wedding, and instead of making a fight out of it, they were asking all the guests. Well, the female guests, I have no idea what would have happened if I turned up on a wedding dress, to at least wear white, if not an actual wedding dress. My wife was delighted, so she could still fit into her dress and, as she put it, when will I get another chance to wear the silly thing? So the date came. We showed up, me in a nice suit and my love in her dress, and walked into a room chock full of women in white. The plan was that we'd all walk into the chapel when the preacher was ready, but Chiefette wanted us all in this room when her mother showed up. I joined the chief outside the main doors and watched as his future mother-in-law exited her car in an explosion of white tulle. She was wearing something that would have suited a Disney princess, but marched up to us like a marine storming a beachfront, clearly expecting resistance, if not rejection. Chief simply welcomed her warmly and held the door for her and his future father-in-law, who had the grace to look ashamed. She strutted into the room, nose in the air, then froze, staring at 20 or so women, all wearing white, and most wearing gowns as fancy as hers. I don't know what Chief expected, but he seemed surprised at her meltdown. The woman started screaming at everyone, calling them out on how shameful they were to wear white to her daughter's wedding, and how they all had to leave. Her husband quietly pointed out that she, herself, was wearing a wedding gown to her daughter's wedding.
That's different, damn it! I'm her mother!
When she discovered that the bride had specifically requested the women to wear white, she deflated like a punctured beach ball. Moments later, the music started, the doors opened, and we all entered the chapel. We had barely sat when the wedding march started, and Chiefette, wearing a stunning red and gold gown, walked in on the arm of her father. Her mother left almost immediately after the ceremony. Later, at the reception, I found out that Chiefette had based her revenge on posts she'd read on Reddit. So congratulations people, you did good. Update, I called Chief and Chiefette answered. I let her know that I posted and she pulled up the post while we were on the phone. Good news is that she was delighted by the comments, but she is putting the kibosh on sharing any pictures. Apparently, she's trying to reconcile with her mom and various members of her family who believe she went too far, and doesn't want to kick the hornet nest any harder than absolutely necessary. This is a prime example of an entitled parent. I mean, what gives the parent the right to wear a wedding gown to their daughter's wedding and then get mad at the other women that also wear a wedding gown to their daughter's wedding for wearing a wedding gown? This next one is by Luxuriant Squid. We're coming up on our male 28, female 28 first wedding anniversary. It falls on a Monday this year. My mom approached me recently and told me that we could cut into our wedding cake top with the whole family the day before our anniversary, because she wants to be a part of our anniversary celebration and the weekend is more convenient for everyone. I was planning to cut the cake with my wife only on our actual anniversary. The cake top is in my mom's freezer as she has a full-size freezer in her garage and we only have a small apartment-sized half freezer. Of course, I doubt the cake will be as good as the day we had it, but it's more so for the symbolism of our anniversary. For my parents' anniversaries, we've never been a part of it. They go on trips without us and have never asked us to join them, so I'm a bit frustrated at this double standard. My wife and I would not mind sharing the cake with them after our anniversary, but from talking with my mom, it sounds like she wants us to make it into a family thing. Is that even normal? My mom also caused a lot of unnecessary drama and stress surrounding our wedding last year, and that she wanted to forego hair and makeup my wife had arranged for and we covered the cost of, and would laugh condescendingly at us when we would try to express our viewpoints on why these things were important to us. She also tried to invite a bunch of people, even though she was not paying for anything. So from that experience leading up to our wedding, I learned that she lacks respect for myself as an adult, my wife, and our marriage. My wife and I thought the best way to resolve this is to perform a cake heist, as I don't want to risk giving my mom a heads up and allowing something to happen. I'm not sure if she would eat it directly out of spite, but I also wouldn't put it past her. What is everyone's thoughts on a cake heist? Just going over there unannounced to secure the cake. I mean, in this situation, if it's your cake, then definitely go and get it, because I agree 100% with the whole double standard thing, and it kind of goes back to the last post I just read about the wedding dress. I mean, it's fine for one, but not fine for the other. I mean, if I was OP, I'd definitely grab the cake. And our final one is also from Luxuriant Squid, and it's an update to the last one. I have kind of a boring update. My mom texted me right before I was going to head to her house for the cake heist that I could do whatever I wanted in terms of celebrating with the cake. I told her that we wanted to celebrate our anniversary as a couple first with the cake. A family member had caught wind of what my mom was planning and told her we might want to celebrate this anniversary as a couple for sentimental purposes, so the groundwork was already laid for me. It turned out to not be much of a heist, unfortunately, and it was civil, if not a bit tense. As I was leaving her house, she made a comment under her breath that the cake could feed 20 people. I just ignored her and headed to the car. We had the cake on our anniversary, and it was actually really good. It was maybe a little more dry, but not significantly. My mom still wanted to celebrate us after our actual anniversary celebration took place, and we agreed because we got to celebrate in our own way first, and we only managed to eat half the cake and didn't want it to go to waste. The family celebration went pretty well. She insisted on getting another cake, even though we were bringing half of a 20-person cake, and went to the bakery that specializes in the same kind of cake that was kind of far from her. I told her she didn't have to go so far, but she insisted, and apparently it took an entire day, and there was a list of complaints. But I ignored those and hung out with the rest of my family, and had a good time. She told me that her friend said she scored major mother-in-law points, going out of her way to get a cake for our anniversary, but I'm not sure it felt like that after the initial cake heist drama. From my previous post's comments, I'll definitely keep my eyes open to this behavior in the future, and not let her interfere with my wife if or when we have kids, as there were a lot of comments also warning about that. This situation has really driven at home that I need to set boundaries with unreasonable people, and it can be uncomfortable. But it's necessary, and the peace in doing so is worth it. Thank you all for your insight, and hopefully this was a good update, even if it lacked a true heist. Well, it's good that the mom ended up coming around and a cake heist didn't need to occur, but I agree 100% with what the OP came to the realization with at the end of the post, just to make sure that the mom doesn't overstep in the future, especially when it comes to kids. You don't want to deal with that kind of entitlement. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled Parents. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.